Welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today in my swing studio. Today's video is going to be about how where the pressure is in your feet affects your swing path. I'm going to give you a really simple exercise that you could do at home that's definitely going to improve your swing path without ever worrying about where your arms are, but just focusing on where the pressure is in your feet. So I'm going to talk about the ideal first of all, what I really want to see. So at setup, I'd like your weight to be quite well balanced. I'm not going to talk too much about right and left here, but I'm talking more about toes to heels. So I want your weight relatively well balanced through the foot. I have talked about this before, but I almost feel there's 4 places you can set your pressure. It's either going to be to your toes, balls of your feet, which is perhaps the crease you tend to get in your shoe just ahead of the lace, the first lace, the arch of your shoe, or your heels. So I really want the pressure to be somewhere around the balls of feet or balls to arch of your shoe. So it's quite central or slightly ahead of center towards your toe line. I definitely don't want it way out toes, and I definitely don't want it way out into your heels. What I see so often in the swing as we make our first movement is people's pressure moving back into their heel. Now, I have done a power video talking about pressure shifts before, and we can generate a lot of speed by actually moving our pressure into our trail heel. So for me as a right-handed golfer, that's my right heel. So pressure moving back into my heel allows my hips to turn more, allows my torso to turn more, and what will happen is because my pressure has moved into my trail heel on the downswing, my pressure will be moving towards my lead toe. It's that equal and opposite reaction. So our weight goes from our heels into our toe, and we can generate a lot of speed from there. So it's something we tend to see with long drive hitters, their pressure moving into their trail heel, into their toe. We even see some like a Joe Miller airborne by the time he hits the golf ball, or we see them heels up, both heels up. You even used to see it with Laura Davis, long hitting lady golfer, both heels up. It is a great way to generate speed and power. It's not necessarily the best way to generate some consistency, some accuracy. So unless you are just entering long drive competitions or you've got big wide open fairways, I'm going to talk about a pressure shift pattern that's going to give you a little bit more consistency as well as adequate power and speed. So we really want the pressure to be moving into the trail foot but still staying balls of feet. We want at the start of the downswing the pressure to be moving gradually, not all at once, but gradually from our trail foot into our lead leg in quite a linear movement from our right or trail ball of foot to our lead ball of foot. And then we want to, as we start to unwind and open up our body, our pressure should be moving into our lead heel. So it's going to the right, to the left, but it's moving in a linear movement towards the ball of the foot. It's moving towards the balls of the foot from my trail foot to my lead foot, and then it's moving into my lead heel. So what I'm going to get you to get is just use a broomstick. This is a very similar diameter to it here, just my aim point swing key, but just a broomstick would be absolutely fine, or you could use a couple of club shafts. So you're going to just lay it on the floor. I'm going to just make sure I get into about the right distance away roughly from the golf ball. So you're going to plonk it on the ground, and this is going to be running through the arch of your shoe or shoes. And what I want you to do, I might be a little bit too close to the ball, it's not bad. So I've got that running through the arch of my shoe, that gap that we get here, that little undercut. Doesn't really matter what you do this in. You could even do it in barefoot by all means if you're doing some slow motion at home movements. Now I'll see if my pressure goes too much into my heels, my toes will rise. If my pressure goes too much into my toes, my heels will rise. So what I want to try and do is shift my pressure into my trail side, and that pressure should be felt more on the inside of my thigh, not moving to the outside of the thigh or the knee, as that would be too much of a sway or shift off the ball. But my pressure is shifting towards my trail foot, but my balance is still quite even. I can sort of tap heel to toe. I'm not going too much into the toe, or worse still, what I see more often, is pressure moving into someone's heel, okay, on the backswing. So I'm trying to keep my pressure quite well even from toes to heels as I swing back. It's moving from my trail foot into my lead leg gradually, but my balance is quite even still, and then it's moving into my heel, and you'll see my lead toe will start to rise because my pressure is moving into my lead heel. So this works on a lot of faults. I mean, if you're someone who sort of swings this way, very upright towards the target, loses the balance, falling towards the ball, you can see my heel is up. So this can work on a lot of things. It could be the backswing fault, it could be the start of the downswing or into impact. I'm just going to get you to do real slow motion practice swings, making this movement. So I want my weight well balanced. I'm going to shift into my trail foot, but still well balanced. Shift into my lead foot, still well balanced, and then wind into impact and definitely feeling it into my lead heel. So it's a great exercise just to do some slow practice movements. One more. That feels correct. Wind into that heel there. Oh, lost it eventually actually on the finish position, but I was heel first. So heel and finishing more into that heel movement. So just using something you can plonk, as I said, just a broomstick would work really, really well. Let me go ahead and hit a shot for you. So let me hit one of those now that I've got that sensation. So I'm really going to try and start well balanced, balls of feet to heels, so I'm feeling like I'm in a good even setup position. Shifting pressure into my trail foot, but still quite even between my toe and my heel. Still even, but moving into my lead foot and then lead heel that I really want to do. I'm not going to think about it too much, but I've got that feeling now after doing those practice movements. Not bad, it was a bit out the toe, but finished on the line and pretty good distance. 283, as I said, a little bit of a toey strike, but great to try and get the sensation of where my pressure was, and my swing path was pretty good, 3 degrees in to out, which is a nice number to be hitting really with the driver there. So happy with the numbers, happy with how that drill really helped me feel where my pressure is. I know if you get that right, it's really going to help some swing path issues. It can work on so many faults that give it a go. Just do it slowly at home in the house. If that video did help you, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Do comment below. It's great to hear if this is making some effect in your golf. And make sure you check out the channel for all the other videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5:30. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.